Hey, guess what? Turns out you can go right here.
Yay!
Yay!
For goodness sake!
Screw everything.
Okay, so the doctor is dead.
Good.
Who is the culprit now? Because I had my
Dr.
money on
Armstrong,
him.
dead for hours. And by the looks of him, he's been in the sea most of that time.
Smells somewhat foul.
Chapter 9. Two little sailor boys sitting in the sun. One got frizzled up, and then there was one.
They're not being subtle about it, are they? Okay, someone's going to get burnt.
Good.
Who's...
Don't try to get in. I'm pointing the gun at the door.
I'm not the killer!
You're trying to make me believe Philip is the killer.
Armstrong's dead, his body washed up on the rocks. And Wargrave is sitting in the screening room, dead, again.
That's impossible.
I swear it! This time he was bludgeoned with the law book he wrote. I think that's how he was originally meant to die.
The next rhyme. Two little sailor boys sitting in the sun. One got frizzled up. That means we'll be safe till morning, doesn't it? No one can be frizzled up at night.
Fire doesn't exist in darkness. For goodness sake. Well, Narikot's got the right idea, I guess.
Stay away from me! If you try to get in, I'll shoot!
The door is locked.
Got an idea, actually. If we lie down and keep hitting the door with a stick, she'll unload her clip. And then the gun has no bullets.
Ooh, we need to find a stick.
If we use the bear cave... Give it a
Just throw the bear at the door. Break it down. Okay, there are 2 people left on the island. Can we find Lombard? We probably have to find Lombard.
Probably have to find Lombard.
Irritating. Okay, so we don't know why, but the judge was kind of faking it.
Yeah. Okay, most obvious place, bonfire.
Yeah.
First things first, I'm going to check the sailor boys.
It's weird how they weren't. I guess it's because we haven't found his body.
So Wargrave was originally meant to die like that, but something interfered.
Faking of the death. Which
Yeah.
kind of... oh, there's 2 sailor boys. Kind of assumes that... well, obviously neither of them are the culprit, but just because he's so suspicious now, I kind of think Lombard isn't the killer. But...
Who does that leave?
Vera. Or a mysterious third person.
Well, Vera was on the balcony,
Yeah.
and something went
And it
down.
was her mantelpiece spare thing.
Yeah.
And Blore would turn his back on her. I don't know.
It's intriguing, isn't
Could
it?
be either one of them. They've done this rather well. Let's see if
It
he's
could
up.
be us.
We go up to the fire, we just get kicked into it.
You can get frizzled up if there's a fire.
Yeah. Vera's not all that smart.
Oh, wow.
Awesome animation!
No tricks, Narikot, or I'll light you up like Guy Fawkes. Lombard, listen to me. Blore is dead. Armstrong's dead. So is Wargrave. You're next. You have to be.
That may be your plan, but it won't work.
There's no way Owen can approach you without being seen. Correct?
As we're proving right now.
So it must be some sort of trap. Already set before you came up here.
What sort of trap?
The rhyme. 2 little sailor boys sitting in the sun. One got frizzled up. The only thing approaching the sun on this island right now is that fire. Get away from it.
Oh, this is a good idea. Let's fight.
What?
What?
I like a good explosion as much as the next fella, but not when I'm the target. I owe you an apology, Narikot, and my thanks for saving my life.
Believe me, I wasn't sure. You out of everyone had been responsible for the most deaths.
Your detecting skills played you false there, old boy. You see, I'm not Philip Lombard. My name is Charles Morley. Got papers to prove it, too.
Dun,
Phil was a
dun,
friend of
dun.
mine. He committed suicide a couple of weeks ago. I was at his place when the solicitor Morris rang up. It sounded suspicious. I thought it might have something to do with Phil's death. I wanted to get to the bottom of it, so I came along in his place. Besides, 100 guineas is 100 guineas.
So you're no murderer.
I'll confess I've thought of murdering you more than once the past few days.
Listen, Lombard. Morley. I need to ask you a terrific favor.
You've earned the right.
Can you play dead for a while? Stay out of sight.
Vera must be the killer.
The jury's still out as far as I'm concerned. But if Owen thinks you're out of the way, he may try for me.
Or Vera, if she's innocent.
Which is why I have to get back to the house.
Say, old man, if you want to get into the house without making a racket, the window to my bathroom is open. I used it to get out on the balcony and, make sure Vera was safe.
Uh-huh. Okay, thanks for the tip. Will you lie low? Come running if there's trouble.
It'll be a pleasure to return the favor, old man.
So many plot bombs just got dropped right there.
Chapter 10. One little sailor boy left all alone. He went and hanged himself, and then there were none.
Vera, can you please unlock the door?
Please.
This is going to
I hear a voice. No, voices. They're coming from upstairs.
Ooh, okay. So yeah, Lombard is not Lombard.
Wow. Also apparently not the culprit.
Yeah. Otherwise he wouldn't have been standing next to dynamite. Which was very well timed. That. Ooh. It's a quick time event.
But I don't understand. How can you be here? How could you get into my room so easily?
Who is it?
I've always had a duplicate set of keys,
The hell?
Miss Claythorne, as a former and actually the current owner of this house.
No way.
You own this house?
I have for several years. I saw to it that Emily Brent died 2 weeks ago. I took her place for the weekend. My finest performance, I think. Worthy of the Oscar the Academy always refused.
No.
But the bee stings.
Hurt like hell and did nothing for my complexion. But Emily Brent was allergic, not me. It's my apiary after all.
Who are you?
My name is Gabrielle Steele.
No.
An actress.
Wow.
Some scandal in Hollywood.
Scandal? Well, I guess if you call trying to kill your leading man a scandal, yes it was. My final picture, Last of the Borgias, something happened. Lillian Borgia, the character I portrayed. One day on the set, suddenly she was inside my head. She wormed her way in. That's the only way I can think to explain it. Telling me to do things. Showing me how. They called it a breakdown. I now like to think of it as a meeting of two minds.
But why this elaborate plot? Why kill all these people? Why?
Wargrave, of course. He was absolutely right. He was the central character in our little drama.
The Edward Seaton trial?
Yes, Edward Seaton. My love. My life. We met some years ago when I first came to London to star in a play in the West End. Then, after the incident in Hollywood, I came back to England to rest. They wanted me to rest. Edward and I fell in love. I cannot describe to you the depth of our love. You wouldn't understand. I've seen how you flirted with Lombard and Narracott, playing them off against one another.
Did I? I was frightened and confused.
I suppose that's as good an explanation as any. I was never confused. Edward was an innocent man railroaded by that venomous old judge simply to prove a point. That it was his courtroom, his law. 3 days Edward suffered. He couldn't bear the shame or what it would do to me. He killed himself for me. I wanted Wargrave to suffer those 3 days, watching as death approached, powerless to prevent it.
But why the rest of us?
I met Miss Brent at a resort soon after I arrived in England. Hateful old hag. I think I caught her qualities quite nicely. I heard how she had punished Beatrice Taylor for her so-called sin. Drove her to take her own life, just as Wargrave had driven Edward to suicide. I wanted to extend Wargrave's torture for 3 excruciating days. What better way than to make him watch others die? Crimes committed under his very nose. Deaths he was helpless to prevent. How his ego must have been scraped raw.
You researched? Found us all?
Others who had apparently escaped justice, like Miss Brent, with the help of my attorney, Archibald Morris.
How could he agree to help with such a mad plan?
Mad? Madmen kill for no reason, no sense of justice at all. I only killed those who deserved to die. And Morris was a perfect little lawyer, asking no questions as long as the money was good. He'd been responsible for a few miscarriages of justice on his own, so killing him was not a serious moral dilemma. Then the stage was set. We arrived on my island, and the play began. The trickiest part was goading Armstrong into getting so drunk he wouldn't notice the imperceptible pulse that remained after I took the curare. A few bee stings, and then a liberal application of Bellman's universal embrocation to complete the effect. It causes a nasty rash. He saw what he expected to see, a severe allergic reaction that can only result in death.
You killed the judge twice.
Hardly. The first time was some fool scheme he cooked up on his own with Armstrong, so he could pretend to be dead and catch Mr. Owen. I admit stealing Miss Brent's grey yarn and fashioning a wig from it was a nice touch. I was so angry. I couldn't think who had done it or why. I thought braining him with his own law book would be enough to fit the Chancery rhyme.
If you shoot me, you'll be arrested. Patrick will catch you.
I'll deal with Mr. Narracott presently. Then I'll take poison. This ring I wear is a prop from the Borgia movie. Came in very handy this weekend. First for Marston, then Ethel, then my own curare. And now, here we are. Once I'm dead, you can hang yourself and complete the rhyme.
And if I refuse to hang myself?
My dear, what do you think will happen to you if you're the only person found alive on an island with 10 dead bodies? If you don't hang yourself, the law most certainly will.
Patrick!
Okay, we need to take a little pause there and discuss. Okay.
Bravo! Bravo!
It's a masterpiece!
Magnissima! Stupenda!
It makes so much sense! That the woman who was mentioned briefly, just once, earlier on in the game.
Steele, the cinema, the foreshadowing. Bravo!
What?
Queens of the mystery genre. Screw you.
The rule of a mystery is that you have to be able to work out the answer from the facts given. Who thought this?
Okay, let's try and deduce this from the information we were given. Wargrave and Armstrong are definitely dead, right?
Yes.
Okay then. Let's see. Also, you could assume that, like, Mr. Rogers is definitely dead.
Yes.
The guy at the beginning with the poison or whatever. He could have faked it, but he's been in his room the whole time.
Master.
Yeah, I assume
Yes.
he's dead.
Yes.
Let's see, so Mrs. Rogers doesn't really seem like the type to commit murder. The General was definitely killed.
Yes.
Blunt trauma or whatever.
Yeah, to the head.
Emily Brent, there was the thing about how did the body get there?
Yeah.
So she walked there and did it herself.
It was suspicious, but because of the judge's murder
But
being
still-
faked, you didn't think, oh, maybe another murder's been faked as well.
You should be able to work out the motive at least, but seriously?
Yeah, the motives come out of nowhere. It's like, yeah, there was this film in America that gave me a dual personality, and now I'm crazy.
I was right about the one thing where, like, I said if they're both, like, innocent and faking this, Owen's thinking, who the hell's going around doing the killing
Yeah,
for me?
you were right about that.
That's the only thing I was right about.
This is remarkable. And the fact that she spent 10 minutes explaining her plan instead of shooting her.
She's still not shooting her.
She's got like an epic monologue going on.
Excuse me, I'm just going to save, just in case I make a terrible
yes,
decision
yes,
any
yes,
second
yes.
now.
This is excellent. It's completely like you can't foresee it, but
It's interesting.
ooh, use the pliers.
Hello.
Let's do a sneak attack.
Let's see if I still got... Yes! Yes!
I have to do something. Fast. But that isn't it.
What? Oh, don't tell me you have to go find something.
No.
Use the marble.
It's gotta be something we already have.
Use the marble.
Throw a rock at her.
Yes! Aww. What? That's not...
Good throw, Narracot.
That was remarkable aim, Narracot. You threw her through a noose that was hanging a considerable distance away. And now she's dead.
Wow.
That's... Oh no! This plot.
Thank you, Charles.
That's right. If you ever need a break from Narracot, Charles Morley is in the London Directory. Treat her right, Narracot. As far as I'm concerned, you're a better man in a tight spot than Phil ever was. This little sailor boy isn't going near the sea for a long time to come.
Will you listen to me now?
If you insist.
Hugo and Cyril went down to the beach early that day. By the time I arrived, Cyril was out too far. It was too late to reach him. Hugo claimed he had been distracted helping a passerby with directions. I knew how it would look. I thought I loved him. So I told the coroner's inquest that it was I who had been on the beach. Later, when I was cleared, Hugo was jubilant, yet his feelings for me seemed to have vanished. I realized I had served my purpose. How would it have looked if the boy who stood between him and a fortune died while in his charge? He didn't think he'd done anything wrong. That was the most frightening part. Cyril wanted to swim out to the rocks. All Hugo did was let him.
Mr. Owen invited the wrong guest. It should have been Hugo out there.
No. I should have told the police the truth in the first place. I will now.
Vera, no one
I have no more
cares about
right to
your
subvert
backstory.
justice than Mr. Owen. Where is your brother?
Plymouth, turning himself in. Thanks to your and Lombard, Morley's statements, he's sure to be exonerated.
And us?
Are you still confused?
No. I'm certain now. What about you?
Well, there's another ending to that 10 little sailor boys rhyme. One little sailor boy left all alone. He got married, and then there were none.
This was the most rushed and dreadful ending.
At least we won the love triangle.
I didn't want to win the love triangle.
The
that's
hell?